Hey guys, I'm back. I didn't expect to have a part 2 video, but I guess there's so much things I want to talk about in this episode. Like, I actually remember more detail about this particular Arrow episode than I did with the Flash one, that it ended up being 2 videos. Because I usually get more than one video for pretty much 2 reasons. Or 3. No, 3 reasons. There are 3 reasons why I tend to get more than one video for like one episode. And one reason is my boo my boo, sometimes when I'm recording, he calls me via Facebook and interrupts my video. It literally stops my video, so I have no choice but to make another video, like a part 2 or something, because he interrupted the first video. And I kind of don't want to re-record everything I already recorded, right? So I ended up like a part 2 or a part 3, depending, Another reason is I get into a lot of detail. Like, when it's an episode I'm really into, or like, I remember more detail about a certain episode than the other ones, then you'll notice there's going to be more than one part, right? And then third reason, God, what was the third reason? What is what is it like in my head right now? Boo. More info. It'll probably come to me later, but there's usually like at least 3 reasons why I ended up with more than one part video to one episode of a show. But like, this is one of those times where literally this particular episode, I remember more details, and so I talk more, and it ends up, continuing off as a second part. But anyway, if I remember correctly, Chase asks Oliver to kill him after he finds out from Oliver that his father was planning to disown him because of his mental condition. I wanted to get a little into that, because that's just effed up. And the sad part was, Chase didn't even know that. Because you could see the look of surprise on Chase's face when Oliver told him that his father was going to disown him because of his mental condition, right? It's like, can you imagine what Chase must be feeling? Like, it's already bad if you know that your parent disowned you. Like, it's already horrible if you knew that one of your parents or both of your parents disown you because you have a mental condition. But Chase had no idea. So that's like, not only like the worst thing in the world, it's like a slap in the face. Because, like Oliver said in the episode, Chase was, most of his reasoning behind everything was to honor his father. Like the title, Honor Thy Father. This is what basically Chase is doing, because Oliver killed his father, Claiborne. And so he's basically getting revenge for him, right? This is all for his dad, because Oliver killed his dad. But then he finds out his whole little brigade here trying to kill Oliver because Oliver killed his dad, only to find out his dad was going to disown him because he has a mental condition. That's a slap in the face. That really is. And I hated Chase already, but a part of me felt very bad for him when I found out about Claiborne wanting to disown Chase because he had a mental condition. It's like, I can't really think of mental conditions right now that like are like, for me, I have ADHD and I also have anxiety disorder. So I guess that would be kind of like a mental disorder, right? But like, it's not as bad to the point where my mom would try to disown me, right? She's like, I can't deal with your ADHD and your anxiety. Goodbye. You know what I mean? And it's like, I can't think of a mental condition where it would be enough to kind of do what Claiborne did and to try to disown Chase. It's like, and that's already messed up to begin with. It's like, if your kid has a mental disorder, you be there for them. Sure, they're slightly more fragile than normal children, and of course they're obviously different from other kids, but it doesn't mean you abandon them completely, right? It's like, it's your kid. So I have a very big hate for Claiborne. I'm really glad Oliver killed his ass, and I have a slight, I'm slightly sympathetic to Chase. even though he technically did not know that his father was going to disown him, I kind of felt sorry for him that he had a douchebag for a father. It's like, to Chase, his father was the greatest guy in the world, but he wasn't. His dad was going to disown him. And it's like, for a horrible reason. And it's like, I feel sorry for Chase for having a douchebag father, even though he did not know that his father was a douchebag. So, anyway, where did I kill? Oh yeah, when he hears about his father from Oliver, he literally just stops fighting Oliver, kneels in front of him, takes out his sword and puts it in front of him, and pretty much tells Oliver to kill him. But he's like, no, I'm not going to kill you, I'm going to have you arrested, and pretty much punches him and knocks him out, right? And, oh yeah, where I left off in the previous video was Thea and Oliver actually see a security tape from that Oliver building that was part of Queen Consolidated, where they witnessed their father, Robert, shove Henry Goodwin so hard that he literally fell into this giant metal tub of concrete, pretty much killing Henry Goodwin. And naturally they're shocked because Thea and Oliver thought the world of their father. They believed that he would do no wrong, that he would never murder somebody. But technicality, he did. Judging by this video, he technicality did murder Henry Goodwin because he shoved him and he fell and died in concrete. You liquid concrete, right? So it's like, it would suck, you know, like, you look up to somebody, anybody, a parent or just anybody, and you would never think that they do something bad until you witness it yourself, and it's like, it's like a dream crusher. It's like horrible. And the worst part for Oliver and Thea, it's their father. Well, technically it's not Thea's father, because we all know her father is Malcolm Merlyn, but she was raised by Robert Queen her entire life till Robert died from the whole Queen's Gambit shit, right? So, to me, Malcolm Merlyn, he's literally just Thea's sperm donor. Her daddy is Robert Queen, okay? That's all I'm saying. But, it's just such a dream crusher, especially for Oliver and Thea, to see their dad actually, technicality, murder somebody in one of their company buildings. And it's like, that must be heartbreaking to see. I know I'd be heartbroken if I witnessed that shit. I'd be like, I looked up to you! Damn it! You know what I mean? It's like, you're my daddy! I look up to you! You technically murdered a dude! And you never said anything to a soul, you know? You never even reported that shit. Not only did Robert Queen technically murder Henry Goodwin, he never reported it. He's like, oh, he could have said it was an accident. He was having an argument, they were having shoves, and he shoved him a little too hard and he fell in. I think that'd be more lenient. I mean, it was an accident. It was he didn't expect the dude to fall in when he shoved him, right? But it's like, I don't do law. But anyway, what really broke my heart was Renee. Wild dog. Here is Quentin Lance telling him, you gotta be at the hearing for your daughter Zoe so you can get her. So you could have your visitation. So you could have her in your life again, right? And Renee's like having some serious doubts, especially when he heard he has to testify in Zoe's court. And Renee, the reason why is because Renee did not want Zoe to pretty much relive everything that happened to her. You know, what happened to her mother and her mother's drug habit, and what happened when she got taken away is like he was drunk off his ass and she tried to make soup for him and got hurt. He did not want Zoe to relive all that. That's why he did not want to testify in Zoe's court. He thought that it was going to be easy to get Zoe, right? But he didn't know that he was going to have to testify and then Zoe's going to have to relive everything, which he didn't want Zoe to do. So that's why he did not want to upset her. So that's why he didn't want to do this whole testify thing. But it seemed like Quentin Lance got to Renee a little bit, but apparently not, because when I say like I thought Quentin Lance got to Renee is like the first time when he's showing his doubts, he's like, you gotta be there for your daughter. You can see in his face, it seemed like he was getting to Renee, and he's like, hey, can you be there as like, he couldn't say it out loud, but Quentin's like, be there for emotional support? Yeah, I'll be there to help you get Zoe back, right? And it seemed like that speech worked. And then all of a sudden, we get Quentin there at Zoe's court thing with a bunch of people and a judge. They're not really in an actual court. They're kind of like in this, kind of like an office room and like a big oval table. The judge is at the head and there's like people there, including Quentin and Zoe. And the judge is like, where is Rene Ramirez? And he is like, Quentin's all texting him. He's like, I swear he'll be here. It's like, well, he didn't show up on time and I can't just favor him because there's other people who are willing to come here on time to do their court dates. And so basically, because Rene didn't show up, which I'm guessing he chickened out last minute again, the judge pretty much dismissed his claim for Zoe. And that literally broke my heart. I was like, Rene, this was your chance to get your daughter back. You even had freaking Quentin Lance on your side, in your corner. He was even there in the courtroom. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. He didn't even show up. And I've never been so disappointed in Rene until I saw that he did not show up for Zoe. If you love Zoe, you should have showed up, no matter what. If you're scared that Zoe doesn't belong with you, and you don't want Zoe to go through everything, I get that. But if you love her enough and you want her back, you show your ass up. But no, he didn't. It's like, do you not love your child? If I was Zoe, I'd feel like I was betrayed. And when you saw Zoe's face, that was heartbreaking. I was like, Rene, right now, my respect for you dropped, and I felt so bad for Zoe. It's like, I can't even imagine what she must feel like. It's like, to Zoe, it's like her dad didn't want her, and that's why he didn't show up. So that's like another slap in the face in this episode. But anyway, oh yeah, the flashbacks. I don't really get into much flashbacks, but I thought it was kind of interesting because in the flashbacks, Oliver flies this little tiny charter plane with Anatoly with him. And instead of going back to Starling City and like dropping off Anatoly in like Russia, he flies back to Lian with Anatoly, where they're arranging for Oliver's amazing return to Starling City. And as Anatoly leaves, because apparently there's a boatman nearby, and Anatoly leaves to go bribe the boatman to sail towards the island. Oliver, you see him on the beach. Remember where he put Deathstroke's mask with the arrow in the eye? He's there, and he's building that fire thing. Because remember in the first episode, we see him like on the mountaintop, and he shoots a flaming arrow, and it ends up hitting this giant pyre of wood. Kind of looks like a little tiki hut, but closed completely. It's like all wood, like stacked together. It kind of looks like the shape of a tiki hut. And it's the same one. And you actually see him building it. So you actually see him, everything you saw in the first episode, Deathstroke's mask on a stick with an arrow in it. We see it being placed there by Oliver in the flashbacks. Oliver takes Anatoly to the graves of his dad and everyone else that died, like Shadow and all them, and her dad. And we see him building that future fire pyre that we see him in the first episode strike with fire to notify those boatmen nearby that he was there, right? And as he's doing that, he gets knocked out by, I think a tranquilizer, and it turns out it was shot by Kovar, who knows all about Oliver's little plan. So this is interesting. We're seeing his island thing before he got back to Starling City taking place, but then there's the whole Kovar thing, so I'm kind of curious on how they putting that in. But anyway, this episode was interesting. I think what's his face, Chase, is up to something, because when Oliver was pretty much revealing to the world that his father did in fact kill somebody, Chase was in fact captured. I'm guessing he's in the Arrow Cave prison. But anyway, he had a smirk on his face. But anyway, I'm running out of time, and I'll get into that some other time, but I'll see you guys later. Bye.